The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon. We'll get started here. This is the Environmental Matters webinar series continuing on, and we will continue throughout the year. I'll give a list of some upcoming ones at the end of this presentation. This presentation is on Only Rain Down the Drain, Preventing and Spotting Illicit Discharge. I'm Wendy Grethen, and I'm with the Environmental Services Division of Public Works here with the City of Superior. And thank you so much for attending on this nice summer day. So we only want rain down the drain. I thought I'd start with a silly picture, but it really is important stuff as far as what is going down the drains. And we'll be talking a lot about what could go down and what's relatively simple to keep out of the drain. We know rain and snow is going to happen in Superior all the year through. And here we are in Superior, and we are surrounded by the St. Louis River estuary. We're surrounded by Superior and Alouez Bay and Lake Superior. So even more reasons why we want to protect these water resources all around us. The city has installed many storm drains, and they're involved with removing water to keep us safe for driving. But in the meantime, it's actually taking care of water that does not infiltrate into the ground, as there's more what's called impervious surfaces. And for all these storm drains, where do they go? What should they be carrying, and who could help detect if there's a problem? That's all what we're going to be talking about. And I thought since ultimately rain is part of stormwater, I thought whoops. Oh well, I had a little bit on rain, the sound of rain, but rain is what has some things flowing down into these storm drains. So for our presentation, the main topic is illicit discharge. We'll talk about what it is. We'll talk about roles and goals, what might enter a storm drain but shouldn't, and ways to prevent water pollution by keeping things out of the storm drains, what to look for, and how to report it. There definitely is a land and water connection. Some materials can go right into a stream directly, naturally. Soil, after a rainstorm, soil can definitely wash off, and we could see from aerial photographs or just being next to a stream, we can see some of the materials enter a stream. But another way materials enter a stream is through the storm drains, and the whole stormwater system is made, again, to remove the water from the streets, and it's going to put it right into streams and nearby lakes. And we want to control what goes through those pipes, and more importantly, what goes out of those pipes. We don't want to be in a situation of polluting our water. So what is illicit discharge? It basically is anything other than the water, rain, or melting snow that can enter what's called a MS4 storm drains. And MS4 stands for a Municipal Separate Storm Sewer. In the City of Superior, we are an MS4, and we have this separate storm sewer system, which is separate than our sanitary sewers. And again, the message throughout all of this is we only want rain down the storm drains. What is on the other end of the storm drains? Where does the water and anything else that goes into the storm drain go? When they do enter a storm drain, whether intentionally, where someone has done some illegal dumping, or what's carried by rainwater being washed off the soil, that goes directly untreated to a nearby stream or into Lake Superior. And untreated, it means that it is not going to the wastewater treatment plant. So again, it's separate. There's two systems. A storm sewer and a sanitary sewer are not the same thing. Just as storm water, water after a storm, is not the same thing as wastewater. Wastewater is what's from your sink the toilet, the shower, washing machine. Those are separate pipes, separate system. And stormwater, in most cases in Superior, does not undergo any treatment. The drains, again, storm drains, the other side of it is the lake or a stream. So there's the wastewater treatment plant down below, and that is not where stormwater goes to. What's very important is that we all play a role, and that storm drains are for stormwater only. So if everyone recognizes that, then it's a better situation. So if a problem is detected, whether seeing someone dumping something, you're seeing some suspicious activity, or if you're seeing something specific or something strange on the other end, if you're out canoeing or if you're out next to a stream and you see the outlet pipe having something suspicious, strange about it, then there's a problem. And as far as to eliminate the problem, if the city knows about it, then specialized crew would go and fix the problem. And we'll be talking about what might be some other clues for that there would be a problem. And actually, as a city, we also do inspection of the drains too, but we can't be at every drain all day long. So it really, really is helpful for people, the community members, to report a problem. So we're the Environmental Services Division, and because of being an MS4, we have this permit that is mandated by the EPA, and then the Wisconsin DNR checks it. And our ultimate goal is we want the streams and Lake Superior to stay high water quality, very healthy. We want wildlife to not be experiencing algal blooms or any bad toxic conditions. And we also, of course, want human health. We want to swim and participate in the lakes, be involved in the streams and lakes, and we don't want there to be any problems. So the keeping things out of the storm drains is going to involve the city doing different activities, as well as local businesses, organizations, and the community to keep things out of the storm drains besides the water, and then also for detecting a problem, for letting us know. And we actually do training. I gave training over the last year to the Parks and Rec, to street maintenance, to the police department, that there are additional people that are definitely outdoors and out on different streets, different times, and we gave a portion of this training to them for reminding them what to look for if they notice something is not right, and then who to report to. The City of Superior does have an ordinance for prohibiting discharge into storm sewers. Basically, no person shall discharge or cause to be discharged into the municipal stormwater conveyance system. Anything, again, they're for rainwater only. So we do not want no one is authorized to do it. I will actually go into some exemptions for it, however. The following are exempt from being prohibited. There might be air conditioning, condensation going in, natural springs, non-commercial washing of vehicles is allowed, firefighting activities at times can have different materials enter a storm sewer. So this whole list is part of the ordinance for what is exempt from to enter the drains. Another part of the ordinance includes connections, that a person should not have any line connected, no sewage connected to the stormwater conveyance system, or any drain or conveyance that is not documented in plans or maps or the equivalent. So we do go through and check this, and partly with noticing discharge, and I'll go through some criteria, we can become aware of these situations. They're underground and may have been forgotten, may have been long ago, but the more we can detect of these situations, then we can correct it. So what can but shouldn't enter the stormwater system? Here's a short list, and I'll have additional lists coming up too, but basically the category of floatables, trash. We don't want to be dumping pop cans and straws and litter wrappers, different things, but that can enter it directly or by being on the lawn next to it, and then when there's a rain it can enter the storm drain, be washed into the drain. Liquids should not be allowed, detergents, sediments, and silt, and again some might be occurring naturally, but there are things we can do on land to reduce sediment, loose soil that might enter a storm drain. We don't want oils, industrial materials, even things of natural material such as leaves, grass clippings. All of those should be kept out of the storm drain. Pet waste is another thing, and we hope that people aren't picking up their pet waste, putting it in a bag and tossing it into the storm drain, but more likely it's just pet waste that's left on a lawn, left in an area, and left there and not picked up and washed in after a rain. More examples of material that can enter. I'll bring up the whole list. Sometimes it's a matter of a leak. There might be a leaky septic tank, some sort of tank leaking. There might be gasoline or a fluid spill, some sort of that going on. There could be other automotive or household toxins entering, laundry, wastewater, oils, grease, fertilizers. There's a material which is basically called dumpster juice, and that's when there's a mix of material sitting in a dumpster and then rain can enter the dumpster and basically wash it right through, and you get this mix, this combination of stuff oozing out to the bottom of a dumpster as it rains. That happens especially with unsealed containers. If people put liquid in sealed containers, then that wouldn't happen, but for opened containers of different materials, then they can come loose and come out. Illegal connections was another one as mentioned. To look around for Superior, how many inlets and outfalls do we have? Superior has about 3,000 drains or catch basins that take in the stormwater. And some of the areas are collecting waters from 15 to over 400 acres, draining these, taking the water away. All these drain into over 125 what are called outfalls that go directly into rivers and the bay. And over 80 miles of storm sewer pipes are underground to do this, to convey the water over. Here's a GIS map of just showing some of the locations. Often there's 2 on a corner, sometimes 4, but they're just trying to drain off the water. One thing about being in a city is that we do have more impervious surfaces, more parking lots, roads, roofs, tops, all these materials that do not let water soak into the ground. So when there's more impervious surfaces in an area, then there's more stormwater runoff. The rain can't soak in, it runs off. And we can't control the rain, it is going to rain, but we can slow down the runoff and help to keep it cleaner. Adding natural things of trees, native plants, rain barrels are some ways of reducing the runoff, but then also keeping areas with the natural pervious surfaces, which then let the water infiltrate down. Stormwater runoff, non-point source pollution, is a major contributor of pollution to rivers and lakes. Point source is what would come from an industry, and there's more regulation on what is released with that, but non-point is coming from many different ways, whether the pet waste left on the ground, the litter that's swept in, leaking containers. These can then enter the storm drain and enter a river system. And we know water is always on the move. The hydrologic cycle has been going on for decades, well, centuries and centuries, and with water there can be movement of other materials with it. So we always need to be on the watch for trying to reduce what water would carry with it. Again, we can't stop the rain, but we can reduce and slow the runoff. I put this in because I thought it gave some perception of society, of America. It's basically an environmental literacy report that said that 78% of Americans do not understand that runoff from agriculture land, roads, and lawns is now the most common source of water pollution. And nearly half Americans believe industry still accounts for most water pollution. Again, more and more it's this non-point source coming off, washing off our roads. If our cars aren't maintained and there's oil, that could end up in a stream. So how would you know something's been added to a stream? There are drains throughout many of the city streets, and sometimes the actual dumping, intentional putting material down a drain occurs at night or when no one's around, and that's what's called midnight dumping. You don't see the actual person dumping anything directly, but you can see the containers left near the drain. So midnight dumping is a situation that can unfortunately occur. And then meanwhile, at the outflows, you can see there might be a staining, a burn, almost a burning on concrete, or depending on the situation of where the outflow is located. There also might be too much vegetation happening, so that could be a nutrient coming through and adding a big pulse of nutrients and messing with the vegetation. So there's too much. If there's something toxic, then it might kill off the vegetation and have no vegetation growing. Another thing that you might not have thought about for what you might see at an outflow pipe is when the pipe has some flow to it, yet it hasn't rained for a few days. So during dry weather, you should not see flowing of water out of a pipe. So that, again, might be an illicit connection, something wrong with entering, because only during a rainstorm should during the rain and then a day or two after there would be water coming through, but not beyond that. Other things you might notice at a site: is there a strange color coming out of the pipe? Is there cloudiness or turbidity? And then is there odor? Do you smell something? So what's important for preventing all these things is to take measures to prevent spills, or if there is a spill, have a way to block things from entering a storm drain, have designated area only do cleaning, such as take your car to a car wash. Those drains are set up to handle the soapy water, compared to if you do it on your driveway, then that soap is going directly into the storm drain and out into the lake. So again, preventing spills, cleaning up litter can help it from ever reaching a storm drain, sweeping up instead of having dry material that could wash off in a rain. The term is good housekeeping. Here we're on our earth and we want to keep it clean, and there are definitely things we can do. The city, as I said, does go out and sample and visually inspect some of the storm drain outlets. So visual inspection includes whether it's cloudy, if there's floatables in it, plant growth or die-off in the vicinity. There's lab analysis done, testing different parameters. And we are definitely shooting for proper disposal of materials, which will greatly help prevent pollution. We put together a little disposal guide for how to dispose of materials properly, where to bring it in Superior. Basically, for motor oil, if you change your own motor oil at home, do not, here's Stormy reminding that the other end of the storm drain is the river. Do not pour any oil down to the river. Places that do oil changes accept it. Bring mercury-containing products such as fluorescent light bulbs, some other things. And if you changed your thermostat, had old appliance, these need to be brought to proper locations. We do accept at the wastewater treatment plant here the light bulbs and thermometers and mercury-containing items. And then WLSSD has a very good material exchange going on, where if you have half a can of paint left or a little bit of oil, you're moving to an apartment and you no longer need your lawnmower, but you had oil left over, all these things or cleaning supplies, or paint stain, you can bring that to WLSSD, and then people can come in and actually take that for free as an exchange, and it gets used up. Douglas County in June had their annual clean sweep, and that collection event included everything from pharmaceuticals to appliances, tires, many items, as well as household hazardous waste, keeping it away from drains. And not only if you can properly dispose of things, but also encourage others to properly dispose of things. Other pollution prevention activities could include not littering and picking up litter. Cigarette butts, that's a very common item, unfortunately found on beach cleanups that are around Lake Superior. But wrappers, cans, all these to be picked up. Maybe you can organize a group to get more people to come out. In just an hour, you can cover quite a bit of ground. Picking up pet waste, that's an important thing. About 40% of pet owners do not tend to pick up pet waste, and that can be a serious thing. That pet waste can be washed in after rain down a sewer out to the lake. Washing your car at a car wash, or even on the grass at least, can help for taking that soap suds either to the treatment plant or slow it down in the grass and then have the bacteria, the soil, eat it up, compared to going directly down your driveway into a storm drain. And they can't say enough about preventing pollution, but basically as we keep water clean, that is saving money. It's preventing problems. Cleanups can be costly. They can lead to beach closures, health problems, so it's better to keep it clean. And then preventing health issues, preventing wildlife effects. So all this, if we prevent problems, it's much better in the long run. Storm drains should also be kept clear. Make sure leaves, dirt, grass clippings don't block the drains so that the drains can do what they need to do of take the water away. And you might not have thought the natural material would be a problem, but it's basically like overfeeding a fish tank. The grass clippings can be nutrients and suck away the oxygen for the fish and reduce that available. So do not let the grass clippings go down the drain. We have done a number of efforts on putting messages next to the drains. The city, every time they build a new street, such as out on the new tower project going on North Tower Avenue, they're putting imprints of no dumping, drains to lake. And then we've had youth and the public do some storm drain stenciling for putting messages on the drains. So if you notice suspicious flow from a drain, or if you see someone directly dumping from a drain, you need to report the problem, and you will be a part of protecting places and people. And where do you report it to? You report it to us, the Environmental Services Division. We have the direct phone number, and then we also have a a special hotline for illicit discharge reports. We have an email of stormwater at the city website, and that's also available as another reporting form. And then we do have an online form on our website. If you just go to the city website and search for discharge on the city website, it'll come up as a form, and you can put in the where, when, and what you are seeing. Your reporting is highly appreciated and part of helping keeping our streams and Lake Superior clean. We had the celebration on Sunday, Lake Superior Day, and that's about celebrating this beautiful, wonderful lake that we are fortunate to live by, and we want to keep Lake Superior clean. And the many streams lead into the lake, so we need to keep those streams free of having bad material enter those, because they're going to the lake. So that was our illicit discharge sampling. I did want to mention additional webinars that will be coming up shortly. The 2 in August include guests at each of those. There'll be a stormwater specialist, Christy, will talk about surface water, how to slow down water, and then it's protecting surface waters, our streams and rivers. There'll also be the Special Area Management Plan Coordinator, Darian, will talk about the importance of wetlands with the city. And then we'll have a organic yard waste program, and then one on climate change. These again are Tuesdays at noon, and you can see the schedule. Any City of Superior resident attending can win a free compost bin. We'll be awarding that later this fall. Other activities we have going on, we also have a pollution prevention business webinar series that's on some Wednesdays at 9:30, and the schedule is listed there at this website. We've also been doing public wastewater treatment plant tours. The next one is noon on Monday, August 12th. There'll be another opportunity to participate in storm drain stenciling August 20th at 6. It's a Tuesday, and we'll announce the location. And then we do have 6 rain garden, native plant gardens here at the wastewater treatment plant, and could use some helpers for an hour or so to help do some getting those back in order. We have compost bins for sale, and just putting out this date of an awareness week. National Pollution Prevention Week is September 15 through the 21st. Our website again is the city website /ESD, and that gives you a lot of information, and we have a blog going on, and Facebook and Twitter. And I believe that is it. Let me see if there are any questions. There looks like there's just a thank you. Thank you for awesome public and outreach programs. So comprehensive. Well, thank you everyone for attending this webinar, and do attend other webinars coming up. And if there's any group you would like us to present at, we'd be happy to do it on a variety of topics, and come see us at the wastewater treatment plant. Thanks very much. Have a good day.